Hello, everyone. This is Arlene Dewdney, and this is another episode of Insights. My guest today on Insights is Cindy Crowe. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you. Happy to be here with you.
And I'm going to give a brief bio of Cindy, and then we're going to talk about some of the offerings that Cindy has. Cindy Crowe is an elder, lodge keeper, author, public speaker, and is a band member of the Red Rock Indian Band, located an hour east of Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Since 1994, Cindy has been bridging gaps between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people and communities with her expertise in community liaison, community engagement, and community development. Now, today, we're going to focus on some of the offerings that Cindy has. So Cindy is an author of Walking with Grey Wolf. It's a printed and an ebook, and she's currently writing her book, another book, All My Relations. She's an identity and purpose coach, and we'll talk more about that. And she also lives in Neebing, Ontario, and she offers Neebing tribal tours. So I'm interested in finding out more about that. Now, she's an executive director of Blue Sky Healing Center. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit more about you that maybe I have not mentioned in the outline.
It's definitely been an interesting journey for me. Something maybe that we haven't mentioned is, I've dealt with mental health issues most of my life, and wasn't aware of my heritage as an Indigenous person, wasn't taught the language or the culture, but I have been on a really high learning curve since I was told in 2007 that I'm a lodge keeper. And yeah, I'm a mom to 5, grandmother to 3, and I have 6 fur babies here that live with me in the bush.
Wonderful. Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about an important aspect of your work as an identity and purpose coach. What is that?
Yeah, that's been developing for quite some time. So when I was first told in 2003, I was given my spirit name at that time and also informed of my clan. That changed everything for me, and a complete game changer. And I've been on that learning journey since that time. So when I was working with the inmates at the Thunder Bay jail later on, moving fast forward, I realized how important our identity and our life purpose is. And if we're not aware of it, if it's not in our vision, if we're not breathing it every day, then yes, we could be struggling with many things. And of course, the inmates that I was working with, they were in there for a variety of reasons, but mostly because they didn't know who they are. Mm. And so when you ask a person to introduce themselves or you meet someone, they identify with different things, right? We identify that I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother. We identify that this is my job, this is where I live, but who are we truly? Who are we truly? And so that's part of my work, is helping people to discover who they are, who they truly are. Why did they decide to come to Earth at this time? So what is their spiritual goal for themselves for this lifetime? And so that can be determined in a variety of ways. And so that's generally kind of, explaining it in a nutshell, what an identity and purpose coach is.
Now, you have pillars in your program. Could you just briefly describe the pillars that you have to help people move through the stages? Just a brief description.
Yeah, I can do better than that. I'm going to show you the diagram from my website that will really help you to get a good picture, a good overall understanding of what is this. So I'm just going to move to this page. Whoops, that's not it. It's hiding behind me here. Let's go this way. Are you able to see the screen okay?
I can.
Perfect. So here's the visual. So I'm all about visuals. Visuals help me a great deal in my learning, and visuals always help me to explain things to my clients. So I love this visual of the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel, of course, is a foundational teaching from our culture, from our heritage. And in this instance, I'm illustrating to you how my coaching services would help you, how we would go through the process and help you with your guidance that you're looking for from spirit. And so, yeah, so if we look at this medicine wheel visual, you can see the 4 quadrants. And so the first one is in the physical. If we look in the eastern quadrant with the yellow, we start there, and that's where we start with ceremony. We may learn through going to the next quadrant. In the emotional quadrant, we may learn of who your guides are and receive information from them, and then moving up towards your intellectual side. We might determine who you truly are, and then moving up into the spiritual or the cultural quadrant, the white quadrant. That's where we could be learning about what is your purpose? Why did you really want to come to Earth right now? So yeah, so this is basically the 4 pillars. This is what I follow. Everything that I do in my life revolves around the medicine wheel. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's a wonderful explanation. Now, I've had the opportunity to be in ceremony with Cindy. And I want to say publicly that when she pulled out this sacred pipe, I was just mesmerized because the energy and the power of the sacred pipe. Now, you are a keeper of this special pipe that you have this amazing command of. And I just wanted to say, it was such a beautiful feeling and experience to see Cindy have command of this pipe and the energy from it. Can you tell us about the pipe and how you got it?
It was gifted to me by an elder. This elder is still alive, Tony DePerry. And he gifted me with that pipe, and the stem of the pipe, so the long wooden piece, has this, what I call a concentric circle around it. So to me, I'm all about the circle, right? I just showed you a diagram of my 4 pillars in a circle form. I'm all about the circle. The circle is super important to me. And it's so very interesting that this pipe has this concentric circle going around it. So there's no beginning, there's no end. It's all about infinity. And then the bowl of the pipe is made out of pipestone. It's called pipestone. It's from southern Minnesota. That's the people carry that pipestone there. And so you have to have special permission to go and get the pipestone, receive that pipestone, and then a talented person would create the bowl and the pipe. So there's a lot of work around that. And that pipe traveled with me to many places in the world, but also to the jail. So it came with me to the jail. It would be there with me every day, and I would be in ceremony with the inmates. That is where everything changed for them in there. That changed everything about their perspective on life and so on. And so I'm very fortunate to have, some of those clients still reach out to me today. They call me Gokum, which is grandmother. And, they still connect with me. So maybe they're trying to make a decision about something, or, they're looking for a little bit of guidance, you know, they'll still reach out to me. So yeah, I would have to say, I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, I guess that pipe is very powerful. And, you know, because it feels so natural to me, I guess I don't think about it in that way so much, but yeah, you're right. It is a very special pipe.
Yeah, thank you. And the fact that the inmates that you served have had a transformation in their lives through the access to the energy of the pipe, that says a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean that, so for those who go in, connect with you to have this service done, you get to experience the energy of this pipe. And also another aspect is identifying with your spirit animal. Cindy, can you tell us more about spirit animals, who they are, and why are they important to us?
Absolutely. I'm always thrilled to talk about spirit animal guides. It's one of my very favorite things to work with people on. So as in generally speaking, you know, most people might identify with various spiritual guides. So you have guides like archangels, angels, ascended masters. You know, there's a huge variety of guides, loved ones that have passed before us. You know, you have all these spiritual guides in your life. Well, animal spirits are one of those guides. And for me, I've always identified very strongly with animals. So there's a special connection for me with these animals. And I've purposely moved myself to live in the bush so that I can experience wildlife all the time. I can be here with them and be one with them. And yeah, it brings me great comfort and it brings me great joy, because these animals, they could be in spirit form, they could be in physical form, but they're bringing you messages in a way that's comfortable for you. So if you identify with animals, it could be that that's how spirit is providing you with guidance. So really simply, if we were to think about, you know, let's say you're on a drive and you notice there's an eagle flying in the sky. So what I would do in that instance is, if I'm seeing an eagle, the first thing I'm going to do is, what was I just thinking about? What was I just thinking about? What was the question that I just asked the universe? Maybe I was praying for guidance. So when I see that eagle, what that tells me is that's my confirmation to the question that I've just asked. And the eagle, of course, is bringing us a message of love. The eagle is encouraging us to, instead of our tunnel vision, just kind of thinking about our problems, the eagle is saying, step back, get a broader perspective of the situation, and then move forward with your plan. So that's just one example. I mean, I could give you 30 examples of different animals and how they bring us different messages. Another one could be a fox. If you see a fox, sometimes what the fox is telling us is that there's someone in our life or in our circle that's being deceitful with us. So it's a good thing to know, to be careful, and they never lead us astray. It's always truthful, it's always genuine. And yeah, so animal spirit guides are definitely one of the ways that I receive messages for my clients and for myself.
Wonderful. Now that leads me to the next offering that you have. It's Knee Tribal Tours. That sounds exciting, especially with nature.
Oh yeah, it's so beautiful here. So yeah, so when I moved to Neebing, so it's the municipality of Neebing, and it's spelled Neebing. So it was really bugging me in my mind. I'm like, that sounds like an Ojibwe word. So I did a little bit of digging, and I realized that, yeah, it's kind of an English spelling of the Ojibwe word, which is Neebin. So it's pronounced Neebin. and it's spelled Niibing. So I thought, okay, well, that's very interesting. But I've always had this dream, and it's true now, it's happening, that I would be able to pick up international visitors at our airport, bring them out here, take them to the various sacred sites in our region, because we're plentiful with very rich history, and also have them come and experience the Indigenous culture on my land. And so yeah, it's just started last year. I'm working with some Japanese students who may want to come and visit. They are studying English as a second language, and so yeah, it may work out that they get to come here as well. So yeah, I'm working towards that. So I'm very excited about that project. And there's 135 acres here. There's lots of room for people to roam and explore. And I'm right on the most westerly point of Gitchigaming, or Lake Superior, and just north of the Minnesota border. So it's a really special location for people to come and visit.
So the airport that you're near in Ontario, what's the major
Thunder
city?
Bay.
Thunder Bay, okay.
Thunder Bay, yeah, so it is an international airport, and it's literally 30, what is it? No, 40 kilometers. It's 40 kilometers from me, from the airport. So it's not that far.
So everyone, it's very easy to get to Nebing for Cindy's tribal tours.
Yes.
And she's open her contact information through her website. I'm going to have her give it to you now, and her contact for you to arrange a tour or group, corporate, or whatever that you desire, and you can negotiate with her. So Cindy, what is your website?
So shall I put in let me pull up Nebin Tribal Tours. I'll just briefly show you. The website here. Yeah, so there's an aerial shot of the property, but yeah, so it's niibing.ca. So again, it's pronounced Nebin, but it's spelled Niibing. And then yeah, there's a variety of tours you could come on. I'm just wondering if I've got some pictures of some of the tour opportunities. So things like Mount McKay, there's Nanabujou, the sleeping giant. Perhaps you want to go and see Kekabeka Falls. You might want to mine for your own amethyst. So that's a very popular one. So yeah, there's all kinds of different things that you can do, and then also to experience the culture while you're here. So I'm just waiting for that to load. So this is an example of a smudging ceremony. There's the teaching lodge that I carry. That's a picture of it. Maybe you're going to make a sweetgrass braid from the sweetgrass in the sacred garden. Maybe you're going to paint something on a rock from the lake. So yeah, there's a whole variety of things that you can do while you're here.
That sounds very exciting, Cindy. That's wonderful. I mean, the pictures you showed is another part of Canada that I don't believe many are aware of. I was not aware of that big falls there, because falls have really positive energy, very negative ions, which are positive for us, and healing. And then your ceremony, I mean, this is just a rich information that you've provided for us.
Yeah, the Kekabeka Falls is sometimes called the Niagara Falls of the North because they're huge. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, before I go to your book called Walking with Grey Wolf, well, we might as well go with that because we're talking about nature.
Sure.
The book Walking with Grey Wolf, can you tell us a little bit about that now? Who's Grey Wolf and what is the theme of your book?
So Grey Wolf, Wabe Maingan, is the wolf that's been with myself and my family for a very long time. And it was her that guided me to realize that I am a lodge keeper. So I didn't know that because I wasn't raised with the culture or the language. So I'll just show you the picture of the cover.
Mhm.
And so gray wolf, because I kept seeing the gray wolf, I asked an elder about that. And it was him that did a ceremony. And he said, yeah, you're a lodge keeper. And I said, well, that's cool. What's a lodge keeper? Because I didn't even know what a lodge keeper was. So I've been on this very high learning curve. So the whole premise to the book is that I wanted to honor the vision that I had received. And the vision I received was of a bear, Makwa. And so I wanted to honor that vision by writing this book. So the book actually contains the spiritual experiences I had along the way, learning that, learning of my role, learning of my identity, learning about who I am. And through that transition process that I went through, my mental health issues left me. So when I learned that my clan is caribou, somebody asked me one day, what does a caribou do in the wintertime? And I thought about that, and I thought about how a caribou would be foraging for food and, trying to get around in the deep snow. And how do they manage? And it was as if somebody waved a magic wand over me. And I realized that all this time, this depression that I was feeling, they call it seasonal affective disorder that you usually experience in the wintertime. I started realizing the connections between myself and the caribou, and instantly that mental health situation just left me. And I suffered terribly with that, not only through depression, but anxiety, heart palpitations, violent outbursts towards my family. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And so through my transition, learning about who I am, this magic happened. And so you're now looking at a newer version of Cindy. And I really like this version. I'm going to keep her.
I like her too.
So the book is my way to honor, acknowledge, and respect that vision that I received and the amazing journey that I've been on since that time.
Wonderful. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is the RBC award that you were a finalist. Can you tell us about that? That's amazing.
That was it's just such a gift from the universe, right? So such a surprise, such an honor. But I had been on a panel with RBC at one point earlier in the year. And the MC of the panel, who works for RBC, she decided she was going to nominate me for this award. And it was about social change, which of course I'm all about social change. And I was declared one of the 3 finalists across Canada. So they had one from the West, one from the center, and one from the East. And so I was the one in the center. So it was an amazing experience to go through that. Quite an honor.
Now, could you let us know how many people were selected for this award? Yes, you were one of 3.
I don't really know how many there were. That's actually a very, very good question. I'm not sure how many they had to choose from, but somebody had told me at one point that there were thousands of people. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing to be out in Canada. One of how many thousands that names were submitted. That's an honor. This is how special Cindy Crowe is. And look at all the wonderful gifts. And it all started with Cindy finding her identity and purpose in life. And That is so important. And I'm such an honor for you to speak with me, Cindy. And I would like to know again your website for your identity and purpose
Sure.
offering. And if you can say it, and then how to get a hold of you, whether there is an email that related to it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So it's the website is my name. So it's Cindy Crowe, one word, .ca. If you wanted to send me an email, I would be very happy to receive that. So it's my last name, CROWE @tbaytel.net. So you'll see that on the website, and or you can phone me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to give your number? Oh, no, I actually, when you look on the website, you'll see the phone
It's
number.
it's on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else? What about your new book that you're working on, All My Relations? Now that sounds pretty deep.
Yeah, it is going to be deep. And so it's interesting to me, you know, everything is in divine timing, right? And sometimes I would get frustrated with myself that I hadn't started the second book yet, but it's because it wasn't ready yet. And so the second book is about the second vision that I received. I've only ever received two visions. And so it's about the second vision. And if any of you have ever learned anything about White Buffalo Calf Woman, or if you have a chance to read more about her, she talks about how we're so interconnected with everything on the earth. So, you know, the land, the water, the animals, the birds, the insects, the trees, the mountains, the rocks, everything. We're so interconnected. And she explains it very beautifully, how that happens. And so, yeah, I'm very inspired by her words. I do feel that interconnectedness with everything around me, and I'm learning to read or understand the messages, I guess, better from this interconnectedness. And so All My Relations is about that. It's teaching us how we are interconnected with each other. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one.
That's so wonderful, Cindy. So this is my interview with Cindy Crowe on Insights, and I want to thank you. And it's an honor to have interviewed you for this program. I appreciate it.
Me gwitch. I appreciate it as well. It was a pleasure. Me gwitch.